Good afternoon. My name is Joe Bandel, and I am the last Rosicrucian. This is going to sound a little like a tirade. Uh, yeah, maybe it is, but um, let's explore it a little bit, because the idea is about being obsessed with political correctness. So the world is going crazy. People imagine all kinds of things that have no basis in reality. They're obsessed with the politically correct, whether it's true or not. I'm not joking when I say that I consider these people fools in a madhouse. So, what is this obsession that society has been possessed with? This political correctness. What does it mean to be politically correct? There was a time when people were locked up in lunatic asylums because of their obsessions. But in today's world, we're not allowed to say anything against and not allowed to doubt the politically correct. Do you ever wonder why that is? Does it never need to be raised against the standard of reality, for example? Being politically correct has become an obsession. It fills our newspapers and mainstream media with the babble of fools who suffer from the obsession of morality, legality, Christianity, and so on. The only reason this is not recognized is because it's taking place on such a large scale. I'd like to get back to that, the large scale. Dare to challenge the beliefs of such fools, and you will have to guard your back against the stealthy attack of lunatics, for they will attack by stealth anyone who dares challenge their politically correct obsessions. And believe me, we have seen that this past year. First, they'll take away the guns, then steal away free speech, and then they will beat them with hammers and nails. That reminds me a little bit of what happened in Nazi Germany. First they took away these, then they took away that, the guns, they took away these people, and soon there's nobody left. Scary when it's in the name of political correctness, isn't it? Every day reveals the cowardice and vindictiveness of these crazy maniacs, and the stupid populace cheers at what they're doing. You only have to watch the mainstream media and hear these people talk to get the horrible conviction that you are shut up in a house with fools. Is there any difference between a poor fool in an insane asylum obsessed with the idea that he is God the Father, the Emperor of Japan, the Holy Spirit, or some other great being, and the citizen obsessed with the conviction that it is his mission in life to be a good Christian, a faithful Protestant, a loyal citizen, a virtuous person? All of these are obsessions, and they take possession of one's soul in the same way. I'm not talking about possession in a negative sense. What I'm saying is they talk about possession by evil. What about possession by this extremist, what they consider to be good? These idiots never put their obsessions about being politically correct under the searching knife of criticism. Their belief in the politically correct is unshakable, like the delusion of a madman whose insane thoughts stand on the firm foundation of conviction and upon the sacred. Yes, the obsession about being politically correct is what has become truly sacred in our world. Is the devil the only one that possesses people and makes them become obsessed with crazy ideas? Why can't there be people possessed by idealistic and fanciful dreams of goodness and light, obsessed by glorious ideas and higher causes? Obsessed people are set in their convictions and will not budge. They will not even consider the possibility that they might be wrong. That seems to be what our world has become. Wow. Okay, I wrote that earlier, but there's a little distinction I've got to put here. First, I'd like to say I believe in internal authority. I believe there's a divine spark within each person that dwells in the human heart. The Christ Spirit that dwells within each human heart, and it speaks to us through the still small voice of our conscience. And it tells each one of us in an individual way what's right. So this idea of a mass consensus of what's right doesn't really tie into that. It has a little problem with that, because I think we're all individuals and we have an individual relationship with divinity, with God, if you will. And that my connection and my communication with divinity is going to be slightly different. Am I obsessed by that? I don't know if I'm obsessed, because I really ask all the time. And I try to be open to change, and when I meditate and when I pray and when I slam into the wall, I try to say, am I doing the wrong thing? Am I believing in the wrong way? But politically correctness does not question, it does not deviate, and chances are it's a collective belief. It's a collective thing that everybody's expected to do. There's not anything personal about political correctness. And so the question is that it's such a foreign concept of, let's take something that's like a mass collective hive-minded thing that everybody has to believe in, and then let's take a personal internal authority as the divine spark in our hearts, and how different that is. Then why the urgency? Is there an urgency? Do I feel an urgency if somebody does not believe the way that I do? No, because I expect that. Nobody else has had my experience in life. They don't know what formative things changed me or caused me to be the way I am. And I don't know the things in their life that made them to be the way that they are. But I can believe in them as they are. I don't need to have them be like me. I'd like them to believe in their own internal authority and believe that when I follow my best internal voice, my conscience, and they follow their conscience, we're going to be on the same page. And it'll be, even if we're not on the same page, it's not going to cause conflict, because ultimately we all want similar things in life. We want love, we want acceptance, we want to be respected as people, as individuals. So again, this gets around to the fanaticism, the urgency, the violence of, if you are not politically correct, why do you have to be trampled beneath the feet? What is it that it's an enslavement. It's a type of enslavement. And narrative is the way that people are enslaved. Let's face it, a lot of people, wisdom is gained the hard way. And it's a lot easier just to let somebody else do the thinking for you and go ahead and believe a line that they pass on to you. And then give your power over to somebody else or to another institution. Again, we're looking at this concept of internal authority versus external authority. politically correct has those few that determine what's politically correct. And everybody else has to follow them. What's that about? What is that about? What it is some people have this need to manipulate and be lords or gods over other people and can't just leave them alone. It's because they don't have that connection to the earth that will allow them to manifest things on their own. So they need to trick, trick and manipulate others to get things, to manifest things for them. And really, it's a game. Okay, when you take somebody that's smarter than another person, take a game of chess. Okay, one person can see 3 moves ahead, one person can see 10 moves ahead. Who's going to win most of the time? Basically, the person who can see 10 moves ahead. But that's not always the case, because that's talking about the power of the mind, and it has no idea about the power of the heart and the power of the spirit, because the power of the heart has wisdom, and the power of the mind only has intelligence. And sometimes there's a big difference, because what makes sense to the mind is not right. Most of the atrocities that have happened in the world have happened under the guise of spirituality, the highest possible goal. Well, that's about all the time I have for today. I hope I kind of touched upon political correctness here in a way that makes you think about it a little bit, and why the urgency, why it is so important that people submit. Free people do not submit. Have a good day.